It is the middle of August, and the sun has not let up for 11 days straight. You are standing in a kitchen with no hum from a refrigerator, no cold white light when you open a door, no little motor kicking on in the night. And yet, on the shelf in front of you, there sits a crock of butter that is firm and cool to the touch, a jug of milk that is sweet and has not turned, and a slab of bacon that will feed a family of 9 clear through to the first frost. Not one wire runs to any of it. Not 1 cent of it comes from the power company. And I want you to know something, friend, before we go a single step further. This is not a trick, and it is not roughing it, and it is not some sad, hungry way of living. Some of these cold rooms hold a steady 34 to 40 degrees all summer long, through a heat wave, through a drought, through the worst August you can name. 34 degrees, and not a drop of electricity anywhere near it. Now I want you to sit with this for a moment. Sit with it, because we have all been taught, without anybody ever coming right out and saying it, that keeping food cold is a modern thing. That before the electric box in the corner, folks just ate their food fast or watched it spoil. We picture our great-great-grandparents choking down sour milk and gray meat, waiting for the day some genius would plug in the first refrigerator and rescue them from all that suffering. But here is the truth of it, plain as I can put it. That cold white box in your kitchen is the new thing. It is the newcomer. The everyday electric refrigerator has only been in ordinary homes for about 100 years, give or take. That is nothing. That is a blink. My own people, and the people they learned from, kept food cold and safe and good for longer than there has been a United States of America. Cold food is not the invention. The refrigerator is just the loud, hungry, expensive cousin of a thing we already knew how to do quietly. My name is Amos. I am Amish, and I farm a piece of ground in a green valley in Ohio, the same valley my family has worked for a long, long time. I did not learn any of this from a book, and I have got no letters after my name, no certificate on any wall. I learned it the way it has always been passed down, hand to hand, season to season. My grandfather showed me the cold rooms when I was small enough to be scared of the dark down there. He showed me where to dig, and how deep, and which way the door should face, and he learned it from his father before him. And my mother, she taught me the day-to-day of it, which shelf holds what, how to read the smell of a cellar, when a thing has gone off before your tongue ever finds out. And she learned that from her mother, and her mother learned it from her mother before her, all the way back up the line further than any of us can name. So when I tell you these things, understand that I am not the clever one here. I am just the fellow standing at the end of a very long rope, holding on, passing it to you. And I am going to hand you the whole of it today. There are, in the old way of doing this, 3 great cold places a family builds, and 3 simple laws underneath them all that make every one of them work. The 3 places are these: the cellar in the ground, where the earth itself keeps your harvest; the ice house, where winter is caught and held all the way into summer; and the spring house, where cold running water does the work for you day and night while you sleep. 3 cold places, and under them 3 laws. Bring the cold, keep the heat out, and mind the water in the air. Learn those 3 laws, and you understand not just how we do it, but how cold itself behaves. So let us walk down into the ground first, because the cellar is the heart of the whole thing, and it is the one nearly any family can build. Come down the steps with me. It is dug into the side of a low hill, or straight down into the earth if you have no hill, and the walls are thick, thick stone or thick timber packed with earth behind it, and the roof is heavy with soil, and there is grass and maybe a garden growing right on top of it. You open the door, and the first thing that hits you is the cool. It rolls up the steps to meet you, that steady, even, breathing cool, even when the field above is baking. On the shelves you have your potatoes, and your carrots, and your beets, and your cabbages, your apples laid so none touch, your jars of what was put up in the summer, and this room barely moves. Outside the temperature swings 40 degrees between noon and midnight, and down here it hardly stirs a few degrees the whole day round. Here is the marvel of it. It is not that the earth is cold exactly. Reach your hand into the soil a few feet down in July, and it is cool, yes, but it is not ice. What the earth truly is slow. It is enormously, patiently slow to change. The ground around that cellar holds a huge weight of itself, and all that mass just soaks up the heat of the day and lets it go so gradually through the night that by the time it would have warmed your cellar, the cool of evening has already come to take it back. The heat can never win because the earth will not hurry. And you already know this in your own body. You do. Think of a big, strong man and a little slip of a child stepping out into the cold morning air. The child goes cold and shivering in minutes. The big fellow, all that mass on him, he stays warm a good long while. It is the same law. A large body, whether it is a man or a hillside, changes its temperature slowly, because there is simply so much of it that a little heat or a little cold cannot shift the whole quickly. Your own flesh, all that water and weight you carry, that is what keeps you an even 98 degrees whether you step into a July field or a January wind. The earth around a cellar is doing the very same thing your body does. It is using its own great mass to hold steady against a world that keeps swinging hot and cold. Now, the men who study these things, they have got a fancy phrase for what the ground does. They call it thermal mass. But you do not need the phrase. You already know it in your bones and in the fat and water of your own frame. The earth is a big, calm body, and it keeps its head when the weather loses its own. That is the cellar. Dig down to where the earth is slow, and let the slowness do your work. Now come back up the steps, and let me take you to the coldest thing we build, which is the ice house. This one takes more labor, but it will give you a hard, true cold that the cellar cannot. Cold enough for meat and milk and cream in the worst of the heat. And the wonder of it is the timing, because we build our summer cold in the dead of winter. When the pond freezes thick and hard in January, the whole family goes out onto it. We saw the ice into great heavy blocks, and we haul them, cold and dripping, up to a building with walls thicker than any house wall you ever saw. And inside we stack those blocks careful, and between every layer and all around them we pack straw, or sawdust from the mill, thick handfuls of it, burying the ice like you would tuck a child in against the cold. Then we shut the door. And here is the part most folks do not believe until they see it. That ice does not melt away in a week or a month. Tucked in its straw, it lasts. It lasts through the thaw, through the spring, and there is still hard ice in that dim room in the heat of July, and clear into August, sweating cold into everything stored beside it. Here is why that ice fights so hard and lasts so long, and it is a beautiful thing once you see it. A block of ice does not just quietly turn to water. To melt, to go from solid to liquid, that ice has to drink in a tremendous amount of heat, an astonishing amount. And here is the trick of it, the sly and lovely trick. While it is drinking all that heat and melting, the ice itself does not get any warmer. It stays right at freezing the whole time it is melting, so every bit of warm air that sneaks into that room, every bit of heat coming off the meat you set down, the ice grabs it and swallows it and uses it up just to melt a little, and never once lets its own cold guard down. It is like a soldier taking blow after blow and never stepping back. And you already know this one in your body too, on the hottest day of your life, when you are out in the field and the sweat runs down you, and then a little breeze comes and you feel that sudden, wonderful chill. Why does that cool you? It is not the breeze being cold. That breeze might be warm. It is that the water on your skin is drinking up your heat so it can turn from liquid into vapor and lift off you, and it carries your heat away with it as it goes. Your body figured this out long before any of us did. It sweats on purpose so that water changing from one form to another will haul the heat right off you and keep you from cooking in your own skin. The ice in that house is doing the same dance, only backwards, going from solid to liquid instead of liquid to air, but it is the very same law. A thing changing its form eats up heat while it does it. The learned men have their long word for it. Latent heat, they call it, and you may take the word or leave it. You already know it every time a breeze cools your wet brow. The ice house is just a room built to hold that cooling breath of change all summer long. Cut the cold in winter, wrap it so the heat cannot reach it, and it will feed you cold through the hottest days there are. Now let me take you to my own favorite, and it is the gentlest of the three, because with this one you do not haul or dig or saw. You just build over top of a gift the land is already giving you. This is the spring house. There are places on good ground where cold water comes up out of the earth all on its own. A spring, a little rill that runs clear and cold winter and summer both. And what my people did, so simple it near makes you laugh, is build a small stone house right over that running water and let the stream flow through the floor of it. We set our crocks of butter and our cans of milk and our cheese right down in the channel, half sunk in that cold running water, or on stone ledges just above it, and that water, moving through, keeps them cold every hour of every day, and nobody has to do a single thing but walk down and fetch what they need. Here is the marvel of it, and it is two marvels really. The first is that spring water comes up out of the deep earth at almost the very same cool temperature all year round, because it has been down where the earth is slow, that same slowness we spoke of in the cellar. Summer or winter, it comes up cool and even. But the second marvel is the moving, because that water is not sitting still, it is flowing, and flowing water pulls heat away from whatever it touches far, far better and faster than still air ever could. Set a warm crock in still air, and it cools slow. Set it in cold running water, and the heat is stripped off it and carried downstream and gone. The water is forever bringing fresh cold to the food and forever hauling the warmth away. And you carry this exact machine inside you right now. Your own blood. Think on it. Your blood does not sit still in a pool. It runs, it circulates, around and around, all day and all night, never resting. And one of the great jobs it does on that endless circuit is to carry heat, to pick up warmth where your body has too much of it, and carry it off to where it can be let go, so no one part of you ever cooks and no part goes cold. A moving fluid that carries heat away and keeps the whole in balance, that is your blood, and that is the stream running through the spring house, one and the same idea. There is the fancy word again. They would call it convection, the way a moving fluid ferries heat. You do not need it. You have felt it every time your face flushed red on a hot day, your own blood rushing to your skin to shed the heat. The spring house just borrows a stream to do for your milk what your blood does for you. Find the moving cold water, build over it, let it run. Now, I need to stop and speak to you plain for a minute, friend to friend, because this next part matters more than any clever thing I have told you. I would rather you trust me than be impressed by me. I do not want you walking away thinking Amos is a wise old man with secrets. I want you walking away safe, because we are talking about keeping food, and food kept wrong does not just go to waste. Done wrong, it can make a family truly sick, and I mean sick in a way that lands children and old folks in real danger. Cold slows the spoiling, but a cellar that runs a little too warm, or damp gone to mold, or meat that never got cold enough to begin with, those things can grow a poison in your food that your eyes and your nose will never catch. So do not take what I have said and run off to store a whole winter's meat your first summer. Begin small. Begin with the hardy things, your potatoes and apples and carrots and your jars that were properly put up. Learn how your own cold room behaves through one full year before you ever trust it with milk or meat. Keep a thermometer down there and read it, and if you are ever in doubt about a thing, you throw it out, every time, no matter the waste. The old-timers did not keep food cold by being brave. They kept it by being careful, and by paying for a mistake once and never again. Be careful the way they were careful. So let me set it all back in your hands now, plain and in order, the way my mother would set it in mine. The cellar in the ground, to let the slow, heavy earth hold your harvest steady while the weather rages up above. The ice house, to catch the hard cold of winter in straw and hold that changing, melting, heat-drinking ice clear through to August for your milk and your meat. The spring house, to set a moving stream to work carrying the warmth off your butter and cheese for free every hour, forever. And under all three, the three laws. Bring the cold from the deep earth, from the winter pond, from the rising spring. Keep the heat out, with thick walls and heavy earth and straw packed tight, and mind the water in the air letting your rooms breathe just enough that damp and mold never take hold. Cold, brought in, heat, shut out, air, kept moving. That is the whole of it. That is what my grandfather handed down, and what I am handing you. Now I would truly like to hear from you, and I mean that. Tell me down below where in this world you are sitting as you listen to me, what country, what corner of it. And tell me this. Tell me what your own people did before the electric box came, because every family had a way, a cellar, a cold pantry on the north wall, a crock lowered down the well, a spring at the bottom of the garden, something. Somebody in your line knew how to keep food cold without a wire, and I would love to know what it was, so we can all learn from one another the way it was always meant to be done. I read every comment that is left here, every single one, every one. And before you go, let me leave you with a little puzzle to carry, because there is one more cold thing I want to show you, and it is the strangest of all. In the next video, I am going to set down in front of you a plain clay pot, nothing but baked earth, the kind of humble thing you might near step over in the yard. And I am going to show you how that one plain pot, with nothing inside it but a second pot and a fistful of wet sand between them, can keep vegetables crisp and cold for days in the dry desert heat. No water running, no ice, no cellar, no wire, no moving part at all. Just clay and sand, and the very same secret your own sweat is using on you this minute. How can a thing made of dried mud pull cold out of thin air? Come back and I will show you, and once you see it, you will never look at an ordinary clay pot the same way again. Until then, keep it simple, keep it honest, and keep it homemade. And remember, the people who built this country with their hands knew things we are only just starting to remember.